Hey there, how's it going? This is Chris over at 3D Palace, and here we have our first completed unit, which is our kind of escape unit that I was working on. Now what I want to do with this, and I'm using Max 8 by the way, I've finally changed over, don't worry, it's not going to make a difference with the modelling. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to unwrap it so that I can texture it in Photoshop. Pretty. So what I need to do, first of all, is, I'll just press F4 so I can look at it. Couple of things I need to do. Firstly, I was thinking, do I really need all these rivets at the moment? And the answer to that is probably no. So what I'm going to do is go and strip these out, because really I only ever use rivets when I'm, only using a procedural model or something. So just nip through and kind of select all these little fellas here. That'll take me a couple of minutes. And then what I can do is detach them, and later on if I decide I do want them back, I can have them back, you see? However, it is a lot easier taking away the parts that I'm not going to be texturing, or rather that I want to replace with textures, yeah? I'm sure you get where I'm coming from anyway. Okay, that's that half done. Now over this side. There we go. Now I haven't done very many unwrapping tutorials. The last load I did were very basic ones for the skimmer set, and this will be slightly more kind of far in, We're not going to just be using procedurals and masks like we did with the skimmer set. This set's, well, we're looking at doing things like actually building the textures completely in Photoshop, and adding some decals, and then bringing it in to Max, and, using procedurals to enhance the textures rather than using procedurals to kind of be the textures, if you know what I mean. I'm sure you guys have seen a lot of tutorials on 3D Palace where, hey, let's use this procedural texture, and I've got good reason for that. I mean, to be honest, I'm not the world's greatest texture. I'm hopelessly colourblind, which isn't an excuse. I'm also not particularly good at choosing colours, and my design skills leave somewhat to be desired. However, I live in the middle of one of the biggest industrial ex-steel towns in the whole of Europe, so if I can't get inspiration from here, where can I get inspiration from? Okay, I'm going to click detach. I want to call these the rivet set, and let's just get them for the moment. Hide selection, and now we've just got this beautiful piece of work here. Oh, there's a second rivet set at the back and a piece there. Such is life. Hang on a minute. Go and get these. There we go. If you don't know how to navigate Max by now, by the way, because I'm just using the mouse and I'm using my control key just to navigate around. It should be fluid to you by now. If it's not, you need to practice more, okay? I mean, it's all very well going down here and going, move tool, pan, rotate. But, it's going to take you so much longer to model that way. And you really want to do it fluid. I mean, I don't use a Wacom by choice. I've got a couple of Wacoms, but I prefer using this mouse. Okay, detach, and more sodding rivets. There we go. Now let's get rid of these more sodding rivets. There we go. And, oh my wordy-gurdy, we should hopefully just have this fella left now. Okay, now, things we're not interested in texturing particularly: top, sides, bottom, back. Everything else, fair game. And we're not going to do, we're not going to do too much with them. We're going to give it kind of basic metal-y kind of, stuff. So, first thing then, I'm going to go down to UVW, and I'm going to map. Map it as a box. This will take a lot of the work away from us, because it will automatically box map the entire thing, yeah? Next, UVW unwrap. So unwrap UVW. Okay, and now we've got our things turned on. Now these borders you can see here, and I'm not using Pel Map in this by the way, these borders you can see here are kind of where it breaks it up into individual parts inside its automatically generated map. And now if I hit edit, you're going to see a big lot of confusing mess. There you go. How's that for a big lot of confusing mess, eh? How'd you like that, side boob? No, sorry, I had to say that. What I'm going to do first is turn off this background, because I find it I know you guys can probably manage it, but me, it's like, what the hell? I can't see a bloody thing. Things start to blend in together and stuff. So I'm going to turn that off. Next, I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to make it magically small, just using the scale tool here, yeah? And then I'm going to shunt it all the way over here out of the way. Could probably do it to make it just a tiny bit bigger. There we go. Alright, and we want to keep it within the confines of this bordered box here. There we go. Right, now I can scratch my ear. Very important thing to scratch one's ear. Right, next thing I need to do. I'm going to go over here, open this out. I want to start by selecting my face. And the pieces I'm going to select first are just over here. And I'm going to select that, and that. Now if you look, I'd quite like to select the surrounding pieces too, yeah? So if I nip over here and just click the plus button, I'm just going to move this off the screen. I will bring it back in just a second. I've got 2 monitors. You should have 2 monitors if you want to be a 3D artist. There's no excuse, they're not that expensive anymore. If you can afford a student copy of Macs, you can afford a second monitor. Whoa, dude, I sound like you're a dad. Okay, and oops, let's move that over there. I should really turn on key view. Where's it gone? There we are, good old key view. Right, right, the first thing then, I'm going to bring this back over here, and you can see this better than I can, I'm sure. But we've got a red highlight up here. Now what we want to do is move that up here and scale it a bit so that we can apply a texture to it later. But if we pull, lines! Now we don't want those lines. So what we're going to do is go to Tools. We're going to detach the edge verts. That makes this an individual item away from this big thing here. Now, using the Move tool, we can move that to there. Now what I want to do, you see our lovely guidelines we've got here, and I'd like to make this the same size as 3 by 3 of those. So I'm going to put this in the middle. I'm going to use my scale tool just to scale it up until it gets to about there. There we go. Now I'm going to use my scale down tool, like so. I'm kind of being careful how I do this. A little bit more scale. There we go. And bring that one to there. Okay, so that's our first piece unwrapped out of our big mech. Big mech. I'm not doing a mech. Now, we'd quite like to do these inside pieces too. So, I'm going to select these individually. Like this. And, you know, a lot of people say UVW unwrapping is a very laborious process, and they're right, it is. But it's quite relaxing, and it's something you can do. A lot of it is kind of, you know, non-thinking work. It's like doing a jigsaw in a way, I suppose, in reverse. I think one of the reasons that I haven't kind of concentrated on it in 3D Palace particularly is because, you know, part of it is a very intuitive process, and part of it is kind of, you know, extremely long-winded and takes forever. Yeah. I mean, an important thing when you're laying out a UVW map is to try and remember exactly where you put stuff as well. There we go. It's kind of like packing a jigsaw back in a box, I suppose, rather than anything. You know, taking your jigsaw apart, but leaving it so you can remember how to put it back together again later. There we go. Oops. Ideally, we want to end up with as little as possible later on, when we come to finish all our main pieces. So that little block you see in the bottom left there, we don't really want anything left in there if we can help it. I'm just using my zoom in tools here. Do a leftover poly there. There's another one there. I think, yeah, there it is. Pull back. Right, so you can see down here again, we've got this piece. So again, tools, detach edge verts, and I'm just going to move these carefully Don't want to lose my selection. Up there. Now you can see these pieces here, these are all part of our selection still. These will be the bits here at the bottom and the bits at the side and so on. Now what we could do, or rather what we should do, is move in on these and do some adjusting. So I'm going to start by selecting these. Now remember, if we move them around just to make sure they're not attached to anything. And I'm going to rotate this down 90 degrees and then move it next to here. Same with this one, and then the same with this one as well. You can of course sew these together, but hang on a second, let's see if we can find out where this one was, bearing in mind that I can't see diddly very well. There it is. It's this top piece here, you see. Now, everything on this part selected. I'm going to Hulk smash, Hulk smash, like so, and try and get it pretty much uniform if I can. Now I'm going to scale it up like this, because I want this to then go inside here, so we know where it is and what it relates to. And I can afford to scale it up just a little bit more, I think. There we go. Now these parts here, I'm just going to move this down, or up actually, up will be easier. Then I'm going to take these parts here, I'm going to move them over to here, okay, so that this is part of this. Right, now at the back here I want to do this piece next, so I'll just do a big select there. And down here you can see where that piece is. Tools, detach edge verts, and let's move it up to here. Now this piece here is actually the middle of this piece, okay? So scoot it down like that, and then scale it right up, and I'm going to put that there, scale it some more, there we go, just pop it out there. Now this piece here I'll move to there. Okay, so all these pieces are kind of being grouped together. Now we've got those pieces done, so inside here you can see we've got the inside of our kind of tunnel piece. So let's start digging that out now. And remember, you've got to get all the polys going back here, there and there. I just had to pause for a moment, so I just have to remember where I am. I am doing this. So take as much care as possible when selecting these pieces, yeah? With this one, I suspect that I'm going to have to kind of sew it together. Incidentally, for those of you using 3D Studio Max version 7 or below, who aren't used to this kind of UV editing system I've got here, this is the new one for Max 8. It's pretty damn nice actually. Alright, yeah, so that's over here. You can see these two pieces, yes? So, tools, detach edge verts. Now, if I bring this over, you can see we've got kind of this piece here, yeah? This is our bottom piece, so we need to rotate this around first. Like that. And now I'll move this to the bottom, because we know this is our bottommost. This piece is the next one up, yeah? So I'm going to move that to there. And then this piece here, you need to flip over again. Make sure you flip them the right way, by the way, otherwise it's going to get a bit confusing. and we're going to move that to there. Now we need to drop it and concentrate on this, because these items here, when we texture them, they're going to be kind of fine here and then squashed up all over here. So what I want to do is kind of try and make these as uniform as possible. So I'm going to bring these over here to a nice little workspace. Okay, and change this to vert mode. This will enable me to kind of start stretching these out and being as even as possible with them. There we go. What I'm trying to do is, I'm not going to get it exact. I know I can mess around in Max and get it to be exact, but as you know by now, I'm very much of a kind of hands-on kind of guy, so there we are, put that to there. So I'm going to weld these now. These are my tools. Target weld. What you do is you click, drag, and you get the W. It welds. I love that. See? Welding. Awesomeness. Always love target welding this. Alright, now move this along a little bit. These three are spaced out just fine. Got the bottom one. Take it to about there. Tools again. Target weld. Got some double verts down here, so I'm just doing it twice. It's probably a mistake I made in the modelling phase, so I wouldn't worry about it. There we are. Okay, right click out. Now I'm going to straighten this up a bit more. Remember, it's my job to kind of try and keep this as even as possible. At the bottom there, when I get to it in just a moment, I'm going to make it slightly smaller than the rest, because of course it is smaller than the rest in the actual map anyway. Need to increase this one a little bit. There we go. Now this one. There we go. And then finally this one's going to be kind of, 2/3 maybe. But if you look, we've got this one wonking up there. Easy way to fix it. Go over here. Now I'm going to select this scale tool here. Now just scale them flat. Doesn't seem to work in Max 8. Damn you, Max 8. No, on the mud. There we go. I'll just edit it manually because I'm such a dude. 1, 2. There we are. Okay, so this now is that piece, alright? So if I turn it to face, there, you see? It's this entire piece. Now, if I take this piece, I can move it over here, and I'm going to have to reduce it in size a little bit, because it's just too big at the minute. So, I'm going to reduce it until it's about the size of this piece here, like that. Now I can do the other side once I scratch my head. Okay, so remember we've already done the top, so I'm going to just move this along over to here again. I'll select here and here. Now I'm going to leave this piece here. I want to map it separately, okay? Because it's kind of a feature piece. There we are. And down here. Right, let's have a look at this door frame. Do I want to muck around with it? No, not particularly. I'm going to leave a lot of these seams anyway and just use a kind of universal texture on them. What I mean by that is they'll be kind of clumped down in the corner and just paint them black or something stupid like that. It's just to save time, because I really don't want to be doing this tutorial for the next 12 years. Okay, detach edge verts, because I have to think about what I'm saying and what I'm doing simultaneously, which is always tricky at the best of times. Right, so that's that piece at the bottom of the door. That's that piece at the side of the door, as is that. So I'll bring those over to there. That must mean this piece goes there. So what I'm going to do is select these and flip them over like that. This will make more sense in just a moment as well. And that piece need to be slotted in over here. There we go. Right, now vertex, tools, target weld. Believe me, you don't have to do it this way, by the way. It's just, you know, you probably want it to look nice. A lot of people prefer it when their stuff looks nice. Okay, we're going to space this out a bit now. So, first of all, we're going to bring this down a bit. And I think I'm just going to bind it to direction like so. Makes it a little bit easier for me. You can see what I'm doing by spacing it out this way, I presume. There we go. Remember what I said with the last piece, you know, if we don't, we're going to get a load of crushed details, and we get a load of details that work. And when we're texturing, we want to make it as easy as possible, either for the person texturing or for ourselves. 3/4 height, 2/3 there. Okay, pull out. We're going to squeeze this in a little bit this way, I think. It's a little bit too wide, and we want it around about the same width as the other one as well. There we are. Just test that out. Yeah, I could do with going down just a tiny bit more. Oh, I'm pretty tired today. I need more coffee. I'll stop drinking Diet Coke today again, because Diet Coke's not particularly good for you. And don't sue me, Coca-Cola company, but it's not particularly good for you. And I decided to come off it, and now I'm kind of strung out to hell and back. There we go. Back to face. So we now have these pieces unwrapped, you see? Isn't this fun? So we've nearly got this entire left-hand section done now. Incidentally, for these rails, I'll probably just use a procedural, simply because procedurals do a nice job. But then again, I might not. Who knows? Okay, so in here, we're getting nice and close. I'm going to do these bits. I'm going to have to make sure I select them all, incidentally, including these little twiggly corner pieces. It may seem fiddly and faddly, but you know, it's worth doing. And trust me, when you get around to starting to unwrap organic models, you'll be doing it a hell of a lot more. Except you'll be using pelt matter, because it cheats. Alright, that's not bad. So I'm going to take that piece now, which is down here somewhere. See all these separate bits? Grr. Tools, detach edge verts. And then move. Right, so this piece here is that piece. This piece here is the bottom piece. And this piece here is the top piece, of course. Duh. Right, so let's see which bit's which. So I'm going to have to use my vert tools. Select. Right, so that's that end. Can you see? That piece is that. So I'm probably going to have to turn this over. Like so. Now this piece is there and there, and you can see the shape of it. This piece should connect to it. I'll just make sure I've got them the right way around, and I have. Now this piece is in the right place as well. So start moving them together. And I quite like to compress all these down as well while I'm at it. There we are. Make it a kind of shape that's actually realistic to what we're doing. Okay, let's move in nice and close and look at some target welding. First I'm going to grab this piece, move it in nice and close to about there. Same goes with this one. Okay. I don't actually have to target weld if I don't want to, but I'm going to anyway. Just undo that one. So I suspect I target welded the wrong piece. And I did. There we are. There's a lot of little verts down here that kind of need to be sorted out, if you know what I mean. There we go. What I'm interested in is joining all these together. There we go, and that gives us that piece there. Now I'll do the same up in the top here. One. And yes, these are some messy verts in places. Yes, I am rushing. I'm sure the guild of texture artists and unwrappers can come and shoot me later on there. There we go. That seems somewhat more messy than usual, actually. Okay, so we've got these pieces here now, made into that segment. Now if I go around this side, we have to do it all over again. So I'll just move this over here. A lot of you are probably saying to yourselves, you know, Chris, you just told us to use the hotkeys. Why don't you use hotkeys when you're, you know, selecting stuff? The answer to that is, you know, just the way I work. I'm quite comfortable with it. Leave me alone. Okay, have I got this piece selected down here? Yes. Alright, now over here, pull out again, and tools, detach edge verts, there it is. And this one is actually whole, which is nice. So I'm going to move that one up to there. Then I'm going to take this piece, and just check the verts. Oops, wrong way. To see which verts I've selected. Right, I need to invert this. And check this one. Yeah, I do. So I'll just flip this over. It's all part of the joy of box. UVW box unwrap. Now, I'm going to move this up here. Like so. And you know what, rather than do what I did last time, which I think made it a bit messy for my liking, I'm just going to tidy up these verts here and here, and leave it as it is. This is what happens with, this is why not many people make UVW unwrap tutorials. You have to think too much on your feet, you know. Which I'm sure isn't a bad thing. I'm sure people do enjoy seeing you struggle and die a little more inside, but oops, it isn't. That piece there is a little bit off, isn't it? And by a little bit off, I mean quite incredibly off. Match these up. There to there. I see. And there to there. Right, let's take these two bits here now, and there's actually a good slot for them to fit into just over there, so I'll just use my scale tool. Now can I fit them in here sideways? I bet I can. Yeah. That's that one. There we go. That's our window frame that fits in there. Now, over here then, this one's a piece of cake incidentally. Grab these, go down here, detach edge feathers. There we go. And I'll put that underneath here like that. And just check that this is the right way up. And it is. Good. Okay, we're just about done with this piece, I think, so we can move on now to the inside of the doorway, and then the outside of this piece, and then upstairs, and it'll be lovely. So I'm going to leave this unwrapping tutorial and come back to it in a few minutes. Thanks for watching.